Okay, so you're staring down a dissertation, and you know that the formatting can feel like this one last, massive mountain to climb. But don't worry. In this explainer, we're going to take that complicated rulebook and turn it into a super simple, clear blueprint for MLA 9.
And yeah, that feeling of being overwhelmed, it's totally normal. After you've spent years doing all this incredible research, suddenly you're trying to figure out margins and citations and heading levels. It can feel like a whole other project.
But what if we just reframe this a little bit? See, formatting isn't just a maze of random rules. It's the professional blueprint that shows off all your hard work in the clearest, most credible way possible. It ensures your academic masterpiece is really built to last.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with why this whole blueprint thing even matters. Then we'll lay your document's foundation, build up the chapter structure, get you citing sources like an absolute pro, and then wrap it up with a final polish. Let's get you from confused to confident.
First things first, why even bother with all this? Well, it's pretty simple actually. When you stick to these standards, you're showing everyone you're serious about your work. It's kind of like the unspoken language of academia that signals, hey, I'm ready to join the conversation.
All right, let's get to the foundation. These are the big rules that apply to your entire document. Seriously, getting these right from the very beginning is going to save you a massive headache later on. Trust me.
Okay, so these are the non-negotiables. You're going to use standard 8.5 by 11-inch paper with 1-inch margins on all 4 sides. Your font, a nice, legible 12-point font like Times New Roman. And here's the big one, double space everything. I mean it, no extra spaces anywhere. And of course, don't forget to indent the first line of every new paragraph by 1/2 inch.
Next up, page numbers. Super simple, but absolutely crucial. You're going to put them in the upper right-hand corner, with your last name right before the number, so it'll look like Smith 1, Smith 2, you get the idea. And here's a pro tip. Your department might have its own quirky rules for the first few pages, like the abstract or dedication, so always double-check your local guideline.
And this is exactly what it should look like, see? Just a clean, simple header in the top right. It creates this professional, consistent look that just flows through your entire document, and it makes it so much easier for your reader to find their way around.
So, with that foundation all set, we can start building up the actual structure. These are the things that organize your ideas and really guide your reader through your argument. We're talking about headings and how to handle those long quotations.
Now, MLA actually gives you some flexibility with headings, but there's one golden rule: consistency. This table shows a pretty standard way to do it. Your main chapter title, Level 1, is centered and bold. A major section, Level 2, is left-aligned and bold. The most important thing is that all headings of the same level look exactly the same all the way through your dissertation.
So what happens when you've got a really long quote? Well, the magic number here is 4. If any quote from a book or article runs more than 4 lines long in your paper, it meets special treatment as a block quote.
And here's exactly how you do it. You start the quote on a brand new line. Then you indent the entire block 1 full inch from the left margin. You still keep it double-spaced. And here's the key. You do not use quotation marks. The parentheses with the citation go after the final period.
And there you have it, the final product. Just look how clean and distinct that is, right? It's set apart from your main text. That visual separation is super powerful. It helps your reader instantly tell the difference between your voice and the voice of your source.
All right, now we're getting to what is maybe the most critical part of your academic blueprint, giving proper credit where credit is due. This is where your scholarly credibility is really forged.
In-text citations are basically just little signposts for your reader, and they're way simpler than you might think. If you say the author's name in your sentence, like Edward Sayed argues, you just put the page number in parentheses at the end. If you don't mention the author's name, then you put both their last name and the page number in the parentheses. That's it. Now, your Works Cited page has 4 golden rules. 1, it gets its own new page with the title Works Cited centered right at the top. 2, the whole page is double-spaced. 3, you have to alphabetize everything by the author's last name. And 4, you use what's called a hanging indent, which just means every line after the first one in an entry is indented.
Let's look at a few examples for the most common sources. You really want to pay attention to the little details here. Notice how book titles are in italics, but article titles are in quotation marks. For a website, you're going to need that publication date and the URL. Nailing these small details is what makes your citations absolutely perfect.
Okay, you've laid the foundation. You've built the structure. Now it's time for those final touches, the little things that make your work really shine and show off your professionalism.
Now, while this explainer is a great roadmap, your #1 absolute best tool is the official source.
So here's my best advice. Go get yourself a personal copy of the MLA Handbook 9th edition. It will have the definitive answer to any and every specific question you could possibly come up with.
And think of it this way. All this tiny attention to detail, it's the final step you take to place your own work on that big academic shelf ready to contribute to your field. It's the professional packaging for your brilliant ideas.
Because in the end, that's all formatting is. It's just the frame. Yeah, it's an essential, professional frame, but it's what holds your research, your arguments, your unique voice. So now that you've got the blueprint, the real question is, what masterpiece are you going to put inside it?